and welcome to day 3 of this vlogging everyday in September thing I am trying to do. Today I thought I'd address a topic I've never addressed on my YouTube channel, but if you've been watching for a long time you would know something has happened, and that is how I went from being an art student about to go study a fashion degree to a healthcare student about to go study a nursing degree. And it's a long story. So I left school at 16 and I went to college and I studied a BTEC instead of A-levels. I did a level 3 BTEC in art and design, which is the equivalent to 3 A-levels in one course. And my specialism in that was fashion. I always meant to go do a fashion degree. And I got onto 3 fashion degree courses. Picked 2, they both went to unconditional. So basically, I didn't have the minimum grade requirements to get on to either of my fashion degrees back when I was 18, and yet somehow they both went to unconditional. And this is something that is quite personal to me. Like, I really wanted to go to Bournemouth Arts. I prayed to go to Bournemouth Arts so hard. It was the university I wanted to be at. It's the one I thought was right for me. It was the one I loved. I wanted to live by the sea. It was going to be amazing. And I remember going to God and I was like, right, I haven't got the grades to go to Bournemouth Arts University. And it's true, I didn't. I needed MMD, so merit distinction, and I ended up with a merit path overall grades. So I was like, not massively off, but I was off. It wasn't like I got merit. I was off by quite a way by that final grade. And I was like, I knew this. I knew applying to the university I hadn't got the grades for the first year that I needed, but I was going to apply everywhere anyway. And I made it my top choice. So when you do UCAS, you have your top choice and your insurance choice. And my insurance choice had already given me an unconditional offer, and that was Coventry. And I liked Coventry, but it wasn't my favourite. And then when my grades came out, they went to the university before they came to me. And the Bournemouth saw my grades probably a couple of days before I did and changed my conditions from like you must get a merit distinction to unconditional. And I was like, yes, thank you God, you have sorted out all my problems, you've got me to the university I want to go to, I am so happy. And I made this promise to God, like praying so hard, I really want to go to this university, you get me in there and I will do anything you say. And God got me into this university, and you know what he said to me? He said, Ella, don't go. And that was a really massive decision. And I was 18 and I was actually on summer camp, and I was a leader on this summer camp with a group of young people, and I remember loads of them were getting their A-level results as well while we were away, because I did a BTEC, I got mine a little bit earlier, and I found out while we were away that I got in there. And everyone was so excited and going to university and so happy, and I was sitting there going, I've got into my top university, the dream place, the place I've been thinking about going for the last year, really wanted to go there, and you're telling me not to go. And I made a really tough decision, but I decided to defer for a year. Then I can figure out if this is really good. If it isn't good, then I've only lost a year, I can go to this university, they're still happy for me to defer. But if I haven't, if I have listened to God and he's telling me not to go for a reason, then hopefully this year I'll figure out why. But I'm going to keep that there as a little backup. And I think that's fine. I don't think I did anything wrong there keeping it as a backup. And so when I got back, I had an interview for a job as a support worker. And so I went to this interview a couple of days after I got back off this residential summer camp trip. And I was very surprised I got the job. And so I had no experience in healthcare before then. I'd done youth work and children's work in my church, but no healthcare experience. And I got this job, and I remember going to the interview, and I remember seeing the environment I was working in and thinking, I can't hack this, I couldn't do this job. And the interview, in my opinion, went so badly. I was like, it's fine, it doesn't matter if I can't do the job because I'm never going to get the job. And about a week later I got the job, and I remember thinking, great. And here are my options. I either didn't take the job and carried on looking, and I had been out of uni, college and work for about 3-4 months now since I'd broken up in June. It was now September time when I found out. I think it's the very end of August. Like, I either don't take the job and carry on applying, or I just take the job, carry on applying for different jobs, and if I can't hack it, I can quit. I'm still living at home, it's not the biggest disaster, but let's just try it. And the first couple of months were really hard, but I kind of fell in love with it. I kind of fell in love with working in groups of people and just being that person in that person's day to try and give them the best quality of life, and I just loved it. And then I started exploring other avenues into what I thought I could do in healthcare. So at first I was really thinking I'd love to do care work, working with children in care homes and other situations. I thought I would love to do that. So I looked into it. A lot of the time you had to be over 21. I was still only 18 at the time, and I just carried on looking into it. I looked into OT, so being an occupational therapist. I looked into social work. I had all these different avenues, and loads of people in my work were applying to be nurses. And so I started looking into nursing. And the further on I got in my job, the more I was able to do. So I was doing things like medication at work and first aid and all of that, and I just kind of fell in love with it. And I was like, carried on going, and I carried on going, and I kind of got 6 months in my job, and I loved my job, but my mental health was awful at the time, and so downhill. And then I got to my really low point last May, and then took some time off work. So if you've seen those videos, you know I took some time off work, and over those 2 weeks I was like, God, what do you want me to do? I want to make a change in people's lives. I want to be a positive influence, but I don't know how. What do you want to do? And nursing wasn't really top of my brain at the time. I'd thought about it, and it was something I was pursuing, but it wasn't something I was like, I'm going to go do that. And he was like, you're going to go do that? I was like, right, so I'm going to be a nurse. I was like, yep. I was like, okay. So here I am. I still have my place at this point at Bournemouth University to study art. I still have the option to go and study art, and then God's saying, no, you're not going to go study fashion even. You're not going to do that art course. You're not going to do that fashion course. You're going to go and become a nurse. And I'm sitting there, I don't believe it to begin with, but I start to get a little bit better, and I start to look into things, and by the point I was seriously looking into it, it was too late in the day for me to apply for September entry. So, because I had to give a 4 weeks notice to my job, and I did not have 4 weeks notice to give and then go into a course. So I was like, well, I can't apply for nursing this year. I'm just going to put it off a year. I was like, what college do I want to do my access course in? Because I have to do an access course before I can go to the degree. So I was like, I really want to go back to the college I'd studied art in, because although I love my teachers, the college itself was quite badly managed and a little bit underfunded, and I was like, don't really want to go back there. So I look for other local colleges, and there's one in the town which I work in, which isn't far from where I live, probably a 20-minute drive to get to college. Had a car, thought, right, let's look at that one. And then I find out they run a course January to May, so you do the access course in a much shorter length of time. I've explained that in another video. I will link it down below if you want to see that. And I thought, right, let's just apply. They probably won't have me. I probably don't have the right grades or anything, and so I applied, and then they send a thing through and say you'll have an interview in a couple of weeks, whatever. And then got an email a couple of days later saying, do you want to come to our open day? So I thought, you know what, it's probably a good idea that I'm making these big life choices about going back to college and going to university to study a degree that I had never planned a year ago, to go to an open day. So I go to this open day, and I sit down, and the person I end up talking to end up being my psychology teacher when I get to college. And we were talking about the course, learning about it, and then she said, well, do you want to sign up? I was like, do you not need an interview? No, you're fine. So I signed up then and there, I got accepted on my course, and I was like, oh great, I'm going to university. I'm going to college, not university. University comes later. And so I got into this college course. I was like, right, God, I've listened to you, but you're now getting me to a year course in 6 months, and I don't know how I'm going to hack it. And so I go and I start my access course, and my access course was hard work, lots of hours. I was in 3 days a week for the first term and 4 days a week for the second term. I did have a couple of half days in my second term where I was in for the same amount of hours, but it's a lot of hard work. I was putting a lot of hours outside of college, a lot of sitting in cafes. When our Wi-Fi went down for 2 weeks, oh my gosh, it was a disaster. I spent a lot of time at McDonald's drinking coffee, just to use the Wi-Fi to get my essays uploaded. And so at the end of the access course, I was like, so I'm going to the access course, because we started in December. You have to apply for UCAS pretty quickly after you start. So I applied for UCAS. I thought, right, picking my universities. And last minute I changed one university in London, because I don't live far from London, to King's College in London. Like, I'm never going to get into King's. King's is one of the best universities in the world for nursing. I'm not going to get in there. So I just apply. I'll just apply. I know someone who did children's nursing there, she really loved it. I'll just apply. So I applied to King's. And I also applied to 4 other universities, all which were great universities that I loved and I went into all my interviews for. I got into 3 out of the 4 of them. No, 4 out of the 5 of them, including King's. And so then I was like, right. And now King's had the highest grade boundary. So if you don't know about the access course, it's marked 15 ungraded credits, you just have to pass them, and then 45 pass merit distinctions. King's wanted 30 distinctions, 12 merits and 3 passes. I was like, I'm never going to get that. When you looked at my grades, I always worked hard, but I was never like top. I was like average, slightly above average. I never got top grades. And somehow working through my access course, I managed to get 45 out of the 45 which are graded at distinction. I was like, man, I've got into King's, and I had picked King's as my top choice. And I was like, right, so now I'm going to King's. And it still didn't click for ages. And I was like trying to figure it all out. And it was just such a weird situation to be in. Because I'd gone from, in like the space of 2 years, I'd gone from God telling me you're not going to university to getting into one of the top universities in the world for the field that I'm going in. And in that time a lot's happened. It's not just like I've been working. A lot of stuff emotionally and mentally have never negatively impacted me, and I should not be where I am now on paper. Like, this should not be happening to me, and the fact that God's allowed it to happen is pretty incredible. And like, it's immeasurable. Like, I asked for a purpose and he gave me well more than just a purpose, well more than just becoming a nurse. He's got me into one of the best universities in the world. He's got me able to study really hard. I don't know how it's happened, and hopefully my occupational health goes great on Wednesday and it's all fine and I start, and if not, I can just defer for a year. I've still got a place at one of the top universities in the world, like, for nursing anyway, and like, that to me is incredible, and I'm so looking forward to it, and I'm so looking forward to working hard. I just kind of wanted to explain how I went from, when I started this channel I was an art student to now becoming a nursing student. It's like, in 2 years it's a big change, so I kind of wanted to sit down and discuss why. I'm not going to edit this video because it's too long and I cannot be asked. And it's probably about 4 o'clock already and this video needs to go up today. But I hope you enjoyed just finding out a little bit more about why I chose to do what I did. If you've got any questions about it, then yeah, ask them down below. And I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll hopefully see you tomorrow. Bye!